The name Vlad the Impaler evokes fear and fascination, a figure shrouded in both historical significance and dark legend. He was a medieval ruler of Wallachia, a region in present-day Romania, a land marked by its strategic importance and turbulent history. Vlad's cruelty and brutality made him a legend in his own time, a figure whose actions were both feared and revered. He is best known for his preferred method of execution, impalement, a gruesome practice that struck terror into the hearts of his enemies. This earned him the moniker Vlad III in Romanian, meaning Vlad the Impaler, a name that has echoed through the centuries. But Vlad's story is more than just gruesome tales of blood and terror. It's a story of power, betrayal, and resistance against the mighty Ottoman Empire, a formidable foe that sought to dominate his homeland. Vlad's story is intertwined with the history of Wallachia, a region caught between competing empires, each vying for control. To understand Vlad, we must understand his world, a world where survival often meant making ruthless choices. It was a world of shifting alliances and constant warfare, where loyalty was a rare and precious commodity. Vlad's life, from his tumultuous childhood to his brutal reign, reflects this turbulent period, a time when the line between hero and villain was often blurred. His story continues to fascinate us, blurring the line between history and legend, a testament to the enduring power of his legacy. Vlad III was born in 1431 in Sighisoara, Transylvania. His father, Vlad II, was a member of the Order of the Dragon, a chivalric order dedicated to defending Christendom against the Ottoman Turks. Vlad's early life was marked by instability and violence, reflecting the turbulent times. Wallachia, his homeland, was a buffer state between the Kingdom of Hungary and the expanding Ottoman Empire. Vlad's father, seeking to secure his position, pledged allegiance to the Ottomans. This decision had dire consequences for young Vlad. In 1442, Vlad II was summoned to the Ottoman court. He was forced to bring his two sons, Vlad and Radu, as guarantees of his loyalty. The boys became hostages, pawns in a dangerous political game. Vlad and his brother endured years of captivity in the Ottoman court. They were taken as hostages to ensure their father's loyalty to the Ottoman Empire. They were treated relatively well, receiving an education in philosophy, language, and the art of war. The Ottomans believed that by educating these young captives, they could instill their values and ideologies. However, their captivity was a form of psychological warfare. The constant pressure and the underlying threat of violence were ever present. The Ottomans aimed to mold the boys, to turn them into loyal subjects. They hoped to create future leaders who would be sympathetic to their cause. Vlad's younger brother Radu succumbed to this pressure. He found solace in the Ottoman way of life and converted to Islam. He became a favorite of the Sultan, enjoying privileges and favor. Vlad, however, remained defiant, refusing to bend to the will of his captors. He resented his captors and the forced submission of his father. This resentment grew into a deep-seated hatred. This experience hardened him, fueling his hatred for the Ottomans and shaping his ruthless character. The years of captivity left a lasting impact on Vlad, transforming him into a figure of relentless determination. In 1448, Vlad's father and older brother were assassinated by Hungarian-backed boyars, the Wallachian nobility. This event marked a turning point in Vlad's life. The Ottomans saw an opportunity to install a ruler sympathetic to their cause. They believed that Vlad, with his education and experience, could be that ruler. They released Vlad and supported his claim to the Wallachian throne. With Ottoman backing, Vlad returned to his homeland, ready to reclaim his birthright and exact his revenge. Vlad's ascension to the throne was short-lived. He was quickly deposed by Hungarian-backed rivals. For the next several years, Vlad fought to regain his throne, navigating the treacherous waters of Wallachian politics and the Hungarian-Ottoman rivalry. In 1456, Vlad finally seized control of Wallachia. His years of struggle and humiliation had hardened his resolve. He was determined to rule with an iron fist and secure Wallachia's independence. Vlad's first act was to consolidate his power. He ruthlessly eliminated his political rivals, both those who supported the Hungarians and those within his own ranks, who he deemed disloyal. He then turned his attention to the boyars, the wealthy landowners who often undermined the ruler's authority. Vlad sought to break their power and establish his absolute rule. Vlad's reign was marked by extreme cruelty and violence. He saw terror as a tool to control his subjects and deter his enemies. His preferred method of execution, impalement, became his gruesome trademark. Vlad's victims, often impaled alive, were left to suffer a slow and agonizing death. His reign of terror extended beyond criminals and political opponents. Vlad targeted anyone he perceived as a threat to his authority or a drain on society. Beggars, thieves, and even those accused of laziness or dishonesty faced his wrath. His brutal methods, while shocking, were not uncommon in the context of 15th century Europe. However, the scale and systematic nature of Vlad's cruelty set him apart. Impalement, Vlad's preferred method of execution, was a spectacle of horror. Victims were impaled through the rectum or vagina, the sharpened stake slowly driven through their bodies. The stake was often oiled to prolong the suffering. Victims were left to die on display, their bodies writhing in agony, a grim warning to any who dared to defy Vlad's authority. The process could take hours, even days, for death to occur. Vlad's cruelty knew no bounds. He was known to dine among the impaled corpses, seemingly unfazed by the stench of death and suffering that surrounded him. His brutality shocked even his contemporaries. Stories of his atrocities spread throughout Europe, cementing his image as a monster in human form. Vlad's brutality was not reserved for his own people. His reputation for cruelty extended far beyond the borders of Wallachia. He was a fierce warrior who fought tirelessly to defend Wallachia against its enemies, particularly the formidable Ottoman Empire, which was a constant threat to his homeland. In 1462, Sultan Mehmed II, the conqueror of Constantinople, led a massive army into Wallachia, determined to subjugate the defiant region. Mehmed, outraged by Vlad's defiance and refusal to pay tribute, sought to crush him and make Wallachia an Ottoman province. The Sultan's ambition was to expand his empire further into Europe. Vlad, facing a vastly superior force, resorted to guerrilla tactics. He knew that a direct confrontation would be disastrous for his smaller, less equipped army. He employed scorched earth tactics, poisoning wells and burning villages to deny the Ottoman supplies. This strategy aimed to weaken the invading forces by depriving them of essential resources. Vlad's most audacious attack came in June 1462. Under the cover of darkness, he planned a surprise assault that would strike fear into the hearts of his enemies. He launched a daring night raid on the Ottoman camp, aiming to kill Mehmed II himself. The element of surprise was crucial to the success of this bold maneuver. The attack, while unsuccessful in killing the Sultan, sowed chaos and terror among the Ottoman ranks. The confusion and fear it caused had a lasting impact on the morale of Mehmed's troops. Vlad's night attack on the Ottoman camp became legendary. Stories of the attack, embellished over time, depicted Vlad as a bloodthirsty monster who feasted on the blood of his enemies. These tales, combined with Vlad's reputation for cruelty, contributed to the vampire myth that would later inspire Bram Stoker's novel Dracula. The name Dracula itself is derived from Vlad's father's membership in the Order of the Dragon. Dracul means dragon in Romanian, and Dracula means son of the dragon. While Vlad himself was never associated with vampirism during his lifetime, the association emerged in the centuries following his death. Vlad's reign of terror came to an end in 1462. Facing pressure from both the Ottomans and his own boyars, Vlad was forced to flee Wallachia. The circumstances surrounding his death remain shrouded in mystery. Some accounts claim he was betrayed and assassinated by his own men, while others suggest he died fighting the Ottomans. Vlad's body was buried in Snagov Monastery, near Bucharest. However, when his tomb was opened in the 20th century, it was found to be empty, adding further intrigue to the mystery of his death. Despite the uncertainty surrounding his end, Vlad's legend lived on. Separating fact from fiction in Vlad's story is a challenge. His brutal reputation, amplified by his enemies and embellished over time, has made him a figure of both horror and fascination. While there's no doubt Vlad was a ruthless ruler, some historians argue that his cruelty was exaggerated by his enemies. They point to his resistance against the Ottomans as evidence of his courage and leadership. Regardless of the perspective, Vlad's story remains a compelling example of the complex and often brutal realities of medieval power politics. Vlad the Impaler's legacy is a complex and multifaceted one. He is remembered as a bloodthirsty tyrant, a national hero, and a source of endless literary inspiration. In Romania, he is considered by some as a national hero who defended his country against foreign invaders. Others view him as a cruel despot who terrorized his own people. Vlad's story continues to fascinate us all, reminding us of the dark side of human nature and the enduring power of myth and legend. His life and reign, though shrouded in controversy, provide valuable insights into the turbulent history of medieval Europe.